With Star Citizen's 3.18 patch on the horizon, the recent Inside Star Citizen showing off the upcoming Drake Vulture, as well as Salvage finally fully implemented into the game as a full gameplay loop, I'm very excited, as I know a lot of people are. Salvage has been one of the most anticipated gameplay loops for a long time for Star Citizen. However, based on the information that we have about how Salvage is going to be implemented in a very early iteration of the mechanic in the 3.18 patch, there's one question that I wanted to answer. Will Salvage be profitable in Star Citizen? While we don't know exactly how Salvage is going to work, as far as nobody in the player base has been able to get their hands on it as of yet, we do know quite a bit. There are three kind of stages of salvage, first being personal salvage, with a handheld salvage tool that you can extract material and either sell it or apply it to your own ship to repair it, and vehicle salvage with two vehicles currently being able to perform salvage tasks, those being the Drake Vulture and the Aegis Reclaimer. The Drake Vulture is a single-player ship, so you'll be able to go out and salvage by yourself, using the salvage lasers aboard the ship to scrape the holes off of derelict ships and ship wreckage, and then it will automatically package it up into SCU-sized crates for you and store it away in your cargo hold. The Reclaimer is a bit of a more multiplayer experience, needing a pilot, two people to man each of the two large salvage lasers, and at least one more person to take the refined salvage out of the dispenser and pack it away into the cargo bay. As far as multiplayer gameplay loops like this are concerned, we know from the mining gameplay loop that the Prospector is a lot more profitable than the Mole, just because it's a lot easier to make big hauls on these big asteroids or big rocks with a single player ship than it is splitting that profit between 2 or 3 players. And I think the same thing is going to apply with Salvage. I think the Vulture is going to be much more profitable in the short term, at least, for single player use. Especially since we know that this very early iteration of the salvage mechanic is not going to be fully fleshed out. You're only going to be able to take the metal off of the hull of ships, and at the moment it looks like you won't be able to take metal from derelicts that you find around the verse, such as the Reclaimer derelict, the Starfarer derelicts, the Caterpillar derelicts, as well as the wreckage of the space stations that you can find orbiting some of the moons around Hurston, for example. And this brings in an interesting point, because it seems like, for this first iteration anyways, the only things you'll be able to salvage are crashed player ships. And while they are bringing in persistent entity streaming to make those player ships persist once they have been crashed and destroyed, I feel like the scarcity of these wreckages is not going to be very conducive to a very profitable salvage experience, at least not in this early iteration of the mechanic. I do think that Salvage seems like it's going to be extremely fun, a really cool gameplay loop, especially when it's fully implemented. I also love the look of the Drake Vulture. It's so industrial looking. It's one of my favorite ships that is currently in the pipeline, and I cannot wait for it to come out. But as far as Salvage goes in the 3.18 patch, I just personally don't think that it's going to be a very profitable gameplay loop. I do think that once it gets more fleshed out, and we'll be able to not just strip the hulls off of ships, but also take their components and resell them back or put them in our own ships, that it will get to be more profitable because those components are probably going to be a lot more valuable than just the scrap metal that we're taking off the hulls of our ships. Which, while we don't currently have a price for the hull stripped material, it probably won't be all that high. So, all in all, that's what I think, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think that Salvage is going to be profitable? Are you excited for Salvage? And what do you guys think about the Drake Vulture? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the verse.